I serve a living God, oh, even the devil knows. Say not true, oh. I serve a living God, oh, everybody knows. Say now you hear it, oh. I serve a living God, oh, even the devil knows. Say not true, oh. I serve a living God, oh, everybody knows. Say now you hear it. I serve a living God, oh, I serve a living God, oh, even the devil knows. Say not true, not true, not true, oh. I serve a living God, oh, everybody knows. Say now you hear it.
You are all welcome to Dr. Phil Going Podcast. And as usual, we always start the show with some dancing. So dance with me. Let's do some few minutes of dance.
All the glory and honor to no one else but you, but you. What's not enough to express the way that I feel for all you have done, oh Papa. All of my sins, you came and you died, you rose again. All of my sins, you came and you died, you rose again. Papa, collect the glory and the honor. I trust you. Nobody's been trying to with you. Take the glory and the honor. I
throw a salute. I throw a salute. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you. You're welcome to Dr. Phil Good Inside Out channel. And today we're going to talk about battered women syndrome and the influence on your health. The influence on your health. You know, people have been asking, why did you say talk about this topic? And I'm like, you know what? Of recent, we've been having a lot of cases, complaints, people talking about women who are not happy and they find themselves drinking heavily because they are not happy in their marriage. And it's not just about not being happy, but they are being brutalized. They are being brutalized. They are married to abusers. And today we're going to talk about this battered women syndrome, which is just domestic violence, physical violence that has been going on for so long. And the woman tends to tolerate it. And it gets to a point now where it starts affecting their health. And that's why we call it a syndrome. That's why we call it a syndrome. So it's a situation whereby the woman may develop a kind of helplessness. It's like, what else can I do? It's been happening like this. Let me just persevere. It's been like this for all this time, and I just need to bear the consequence and so on, which is very, very wrong. It's a very wrong way of thinking about it. And when you look at it like that, most of the women who go through this, they have a common behavior. Common behavior means that what? When you are in public with them, you can notice a lot of things. If you see a man who can openly insult the wife in public, or in public he pretends as if he loves this woman too much, sweetie, honey, darling, all those sweet things, in a fake way, because if you are vigilant in love, you will know that this man is faking this love. This love is not real. It's not authentic. It's not authentic. And at times you see these women, they just want to defend their husbands for everything. Oh, why did your husband? Oh, no, he didn't. No, don't take it that way. He's not like that. He's not the way you think. They just try to defend their husband wherever they are. They only want to talk something good about him. It's like they're hiding something. They don't want the family or the friends or anybody to know that they are going through all this. And even when you see marks or scratches on their body, they'll tell you, no, it just happened. I met this lady who had one eye swollen red, and he said it was conjunctivitis, Apollo. And what happened? Why didn't it affect the other eye? If you're having this, you say, how long? I say like 3-4 days. I said in the other eye, she doesn't want to let you know it's the husband who hit the eye. You know, there are others you see with swollen jaws, with broken arms, and so on due to violence. And it becomes now a problem if it keeps happening all the time. If it keeps happening all the time, these women, when you see them, they don't look like the person you knew before. She looks either so depressed or so anxious. You see, this lovely lady you had known before, you just see her looking so wrinkled or so dull, no smile, no authentic smile on the face. You know, at times don't just smile. You really know this is not true. It doesn't come from the heart. And if you are very observant, you can help these women. And this program today is to help somebody. This can impact somebody's life. It may not be you watching me right now, but you may know someone who knows someone who is suffering from this problem. And with what you're going to get from this video, I think you can transmit the information to her or know how to help her come out of this situation. These people, these women also, they don't like spending time with others. There are people in the past who like to hang around with some friends or some family members, or even call them over the phone and laugh, and all of a sudden, the person just goes quiet. No communication, not, it's like just isolate herself and is sitting at her own corner by herself. Yes. And they just get into depression and depression and depression. Another day we're going to talk about depression, especially depression following domestic violence. Following domestic violence. And what we need to understand is that there are 4 different stages, before you get to this battered women syndrome. The first stage is a stage of denial. It's just like you going to see your doctor, and the doctor tells you, something, the results just confirm that you have cancer of A, B, or C, or the result shows that you are HIV positive, or whatever thing, that a deadly disease, and you just the thought of it makes you fall sick and you even die. You're not dying from that cancer, but you're dying just from the thought of you having cancer. You deny it. You don't want to accept it. This cannot be possible. It cannot be me. It cannot, and you do like that until you get into a state of depression. So these women always start off with a denial stage. They don't believe it. They don't, even when some other person tells her that, what, don't allow all these things happening to you. You need to open up. You may even go to the social worker or go meet even your pastor, whoever. Open up to somebody, and she's like, no, I'm fine. Yeah, it just happened because. So the next stage now, after the denial stage, is a stage of guilt. And that's the worst thing with this battered women syndrome. The women tend to put the blame on themselves. No, it happened like this because perhaps the way I answered him made him angry, and that's why he had to hit me. Because talk about violence, it may be slapping, hitting you, choking you, pressing you, locking you up somewhere, confining you to, it may be anything. Some even use instruments, objects to hit you with, to hit hit you, the woman, with it. And yet this woman would think that she's responsible for that. She didn't behave in a particular way, or she didn't do something the right way. Perhaps if I had done it this way, it wouldn't have ended up like that. She never wants to put the blame on the man. No, she accepts the guilt, that I am the one who is responsible. This is the second stage. This is the second stage. Then it gets to the third stage, which becomes now more interesting. It's a stage they call a stage of enlightenment, whereby it's like scales fall off her eyes and she starts seeing things the way it's supposed to be. She starts seeing this man like an abuser for real. That this man is not serious. I'm really in an abusive relationship. He's hitting me not because he really is supposed to hit me, but it's just because he is an abuser. He just enjoys hitting me. That's good, because now they know that, they start accepting that there's a problem. Is you accepting the fact that, oh, I have HIV plus, I have AIDS. When you accept it, it's easy to handle it, because it means the diagnosis has been made. So the treatment can then follow. I hope people are getting me. Yes, that's exactly what happens. And it gets now to the final stage, which is a stage of responsibility. Now the woman has accepted the fact that I'm in an abusive marriage. Now what do I do? Let me take responsibility of this situation. What is it that I have to do? Do I have to move out of this house? Do I have to stay in here and take these precautions? What is it that I can do? She starts thinking about all that. Because by the time they don't get to this stage of enlightenment, accepting it, and then taking responsibility, it pushes them into a deep mess when it concerns their health. And unfortunately, it's mostly cardiovascular problems that they develop. You know, When you are stressed up or you're going through such situations, you can't even sleep. There's insomnia. You start having palpitations because anytime you hear the man's voice, it's like you feel, like fright, fear in you makes your heart start beating so fast. And with the heart beating so fast now, the heart doesn't perform its function the way it's supposed to be because the heart has a time that he has to fill up and then he pumps the blood now. It pumps the blood now to the rest of the body. But now it doesn't give the heart time to fill up because the heart just keeps beating. A normal heart will beat about 100,000 times a minute. And now when it starts palpitating, it means it beats more. So there's really no time for the heart to fill up, before pumps the blood. And then because you are under this tension and stress, there's also a spasm at the level of the smooth muscles of your blood vessels. So there's constriction. So the heart that doesn't pump the blood well and it comes and meets the resistance at the level of the blood vessel, before you realize it, their blood pressure starts going up. So these women tend to develop high blood pressure very often. And then they get to a state also of depression. Depression follows. Then they have a lot of digestive problems too, because when you are so stressed, the production of gastric acid increases. And because you start having too much of this acid, it causes corrosion of your mucous wall membrane at the level of your stomach or even at the level of your duodenum. And you start having what we call gastric ulcers, duodenal ulcers linked to all this stress from this violence. I hope you're getting my point. And some people even have, dysfunctioning of the bowel movements. Some just start having unexplained diarrhea, just because of the stress, because of that tension in them. And anxiety is another problem that comes up. Eating disorders, either they tend to eat too much, which we call bulimia, they end up just putting on excessive weight, or they can develop total anorexia where they don't even have appetite for anything. Then they start losing weight and become so cachectic, very skinny, cranky looking and all whatnot. And of course, most of them end up now to misuse of alcohol or drugs. They just believe if I take alcohol and it can just push me to sleep, then I can even ignore the presence of this man in this house or in this bedroom. That's exactly what happens. So you see that these women, they are going through a lot. They need support. They need support. So what do you do to assist them? What do you do if you've identified somebody by you or a neighbor or a relative or a friend who is going through all this? What you have to do is to meet them and tell them, you know what, I noticed certain things. I think I may be the right person for you to open up to. If he's willing to discuss with you, because I'm sure it's somebody you are close to, before you can do such a proposal, when you meet this person and he starts telling you all the trouble he's going through, I mean, she's going through, there's no need to put any blame or guilt or shame on her. No, if you do that, you are worsening the situation. Even what she's saying, you realize that she is wrong in one way or another. Don't tell her upfront, don't tell her there, because she's already going through a lot. So the role you have to play is just to listen to her and give her encouraging words. Let her be the one to make her final decision, whether it's a decision to leave the marriage or to stay in there and as I say, take other precautions. That is up to her to do it. You need to just help her, assist her by listening to her. And of course, the greatest assistance you can give to her is to pray with her and pray for her, and pray for her. Pray that God should help her in her marriage. God should remove that bitterness or abusive anger or whatever thing in the man. You can help her in those prayers and send her to see social workers or counselors or psychiatrists and psychologists, people who can help her come out of that situation. Is very important. And at the level of, if you are one of those who is going through this, there are things you need to start thinking about. Yes, make sure you identify a safe place. When if it's bad, you can run there. You can run. It may be a friend or a relative or whoever you choose. Secondly, try to see how you can keep your documents. You can watch a video and this girl came back. The girl who was being murdered by the husband, a pastor or something. She came home to the brother to collect her credentials. And people saw what happened and how this whole thing ended. So you have to be smart in your thinking. Start keeping your valuables by the side, or go save it. Keep it with somebody you are a reliable somebody. That would be good. Make sure you memorize some phone numbers off head. because at times you take your phone, at times to start searching for the number or what, this guy may have stabbed you already or hit you with something and you're unconscious. But if you remember a number, you can just dial it fast and call the person and tell the person, I'm in trouble, please, I need help. Come help me. That's also another thing you can do. Get some spare keys. A spare key of the back door or the front door that you can jump and run out of that house. Those are some measures you need to take. You need to be smart. Think about all those things. Think about it. Think about it. Yes. And as we are saying, it's a whole problem. You need to walk out of it in one way or the other. Walking out of the situation, not out of the marriage. I'm not encouraging you to walk out of your marriage, but if you see that your life is in danger, I think that's the best thing to do. That's the best thing to do. So you are listening to Dr. Feel Good Inside Out. We'll be coming back with more lessons or more tips or things to share. If you like what I've just said, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click the notification button so that I can you'll always be notified whenever I can. And as usual, I love music because Feel Good Inside Out, bringing out the best version of you. I am there to help bring out the best version of you. And I always end with music. I love dancing, and we can all dance because we know God is up there and is watching over us. And whether we like it or not, is going to finish all this problem. We're going to come out of it one day and join Feel Good Inside Out, and let's dance and let's enjoy ourselves as we call it a day. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, give me the victory. I'm the God, give me the
God has
victory.
given me victory. Yes.
Yeah, give me the victory.
Oh, yeah.
All the days of my life I praise you. Everything that I have now, you get to me, Baba.
Ah, yes.
Lord, I say for your love I'm grateful. Yes, you love me plenty, you came to die for me. Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Nissi, I am that I am. Ooh. Oh, I search around, there's no one else like you. I love Judah, Judah, man, I am God has given me victory. I am He has given me victory. I am God has given me victory. I am He has given me victory. Hallelujah. 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 Come and see what the Lord
Come
has
and
done
see what
for
the Lord
me.
has done. Yes.
He has taken away my sorrows and now I'm free.
He's going to take away our sorrow.
I
Don't
am
doubt. Oh,
able, hallelujah.
yes.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
Because of Jesus, every day that's like a holiday. Double, heavenly blessings, now him I dey receive. Ah, yeah. God, your grace and mercy is always the follow me.
God bless you. God
Yeah.
bless you.
God has given me victory. He has given me victory. He has given me victory. God has given me victory. He has given me victory.
He has given us victory. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for watching Dr. Feel Good Inside Out. I will be there again. Watch out for our next video. I love you all so much, but remember, God loves you more. Bye until next time. Stay blessed.